We're live.
Live.
All
No,
right.
we're recording this one.
I mean,
We are
we're
alive.
recording, but
I mean,
we're live.
ever since I started working with you, I just have to go like this, and I know we're alive because we have so much going on. Well, welcome. I love to welcome people to You Can't Make This Shit Up. I like the opportunity. This is your host, David, and I am your co host, Joel. And You Can't Make This Shit Up we've had a lot to talk about, and it just keeps getting more and more and more and more and more because it's just people are doing the most ridiculous, mindless things, and it blows my mind.
Mhm.
So, like we talked about Winter Springs, we could have talked about Winter Springs for days, not just not just one show.
Right.
Uh,
And that conversation was amazing. I mean, I've been to Winter Springs. It's a beautiful community. Um, and to know that water issue was significant and the pushback from those legislators in the city council it's mind-boggling.
do you think that's kind of I don't think people realize that the biggest pressure in the city is on your city manager,
I can believe it.
and the city manager takes direction and asks for things from the city council. That relationship, it can be tight. This one seems like it was a little too tight because now they got an audit and two audits.
And kudos to State Senator Brodeur for championing this particular issue in
And
Tallahassee
and
getting
locally
one of the audits.
and locally, Grant Malloy, our comptroller, and
Mhm.
he's listen. We don't have two separate jobs. Our county clerk is the comptroller, so
Mhm.
he's a very impressive man. He's very knowledgeable. Grant Malloy is a you'd like Grant Malloy because he knocks every single door when he's running
I like that.
himself.
I like
He
that.
makes it a point that if he's running for office, he is going to give at least an hour to 2 hours a day
I like
knocking on those doors. So everybody, if you don't know Grant Malloy, you don't live
Get to
in
know
Seminole.
him.
You
Yeah.
don't live in Seminole County.
that. Get to know him.
So yeah, two audits. So I wonder if you hold the guy accountable now that he's not in office. I hope so if it's his issue. But to be blown off by your own city
Mm.
and then to be called a villain because you're trying to get something done
For the health and safety of your community. I don't get it.
because of your family too.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. Jesse has if it was environmental, he would have known, because he's got the breathing problem. And they find out it's in the water. So
Right.
let them fix it. Hopefully they will fix it. We got more people that will have a say on that. So voting.
There we go. Yes.
I love voting.
Voting integrity, transparency. That's one of the major issues that is being discussed in Tallahassee here in Florida regarding how Florida can make its voting system better. Florida in the last election in 2022 did extremely well in regards to addressing any type of voter fraud. I believe Governor DeSantis even stated publicly to the rest of the country, and this was also the case in 2020, that Florida should be the gold standard for how elections are run across the country. And now they want to make it even that much more better. And some of the ideas out of Senate Bill 7050 is going to address that.
Well, if you have the gold standard, now I love this bill, but there's some things I think
Sure.
any bill
Yeah.
I'm never 100%. There's always something in the bill that drives me nuts. But
right. And I think that's a good.
they get in
view.
there. They get in there, but they do. So, but I love that what we're going to do is we're going to rally as parties and we're going to say, well, we support it because we're going to support it. And the Democrats will have to find a way to fight with it because it's voter suppression. It's this or that. But this bill, ever since 2000, our state has worked tirelessly in this election integrity, trying to make elections better because we were the laughing stock of the entire United States of America
Mhm.
when it came to George W. Bush and Al Gore.
Mhm.
We just, no matter how many times we counted, no matter what we did, there was no way either group was going to be satisfied. And even after they finally counted every single vote, private entity, they still found out that George W. Bush would win. But Democrats still say that the Supreme Court made that decision. So, yes, you can't have an election last for a year. So somebody had to finally put a stop to it. But whether
We
you like it
differ
or
on that, but
we're supposed to
yeah,
differ
right,
on
but
that.
However, the situation is we are where we are, and Democrats put themselves into this situation with those ballots.
Mhm.
So it is what it is. Orange County had its irregularities in 2022 in their voting,
Well, I mean,
and
especially
it's being investigated.
yeah,
So
especially
things could be better.
listen, you can only have 100% vote at a precinct, and just because your precinct is UCF, to get 105% just doesn't make sense. So yes, that was why people can. You're always going to have people that are going to doubt these things.
Sure.
So just because they doubt it so much this last time, it's more than ever before. But I laugh at these elections because if you win, David, there's got to be a reason that you won, and it can't be my fault for losing.
Well, if I run for office, whatever office that is, I want to make sure that I do so well that if there's any discrepancies, that it is minuscule to the overall vote total that I've received. I believe in election integrity, voting integrity, transparency. Hey, I'll love to have ballots available for view on the blockchain. Transparency. I believe ballots can be reviewed by the public
Yes, they can.
here in Florida.
But you can't. But you can't. You can. But what you're saying is even better because they can see the actual ballot.
Mhm.
Like you can see the ballot, but you can't see what's on the ballot. Like,
Right.
unless it's a recount. And David's a professional at recounts. Okay. I listen, David, if he runs for office, we need to make sure he has a 19-point spread because
Thank you.
any other time it's going to be 70, it's going to be 170. It doesn't matter. It'll be so close that we're going to have to. David is so good that he wins a primary, and the candidate is going. I'm going to concede, and it's like, no, don't concede. David has this power of putting them close.
Right. Hey, the record speaks for itself.
A win's a win.
And a win is a win. And I truly believe in one vote, one person, one vote. And
I believe in a vote wherever you are.
Mhm. A vote for wherever you are?
Yeah, wherever you are, you should be able to vote.
Sure.
So.
For the right election in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, if you live in
Okay.
New York, what? Vote in Florida. If you
No.
live in Florida, vote in New York.
No.
I mean,
So-
I'm just being silly, but it's funny that those are the types of things that we have to watch out for.
That's true. And Senate Bill 7050, look it up, everyone. It talks about several things. And
it was so unbelievable. Listen, David put this down as a topic, and you get you can't make this shit up because it was so I'm trying to read his synopsis, his little bullet points, and I'm going, did he type this one wrong? I mean, he has to have typed this one wrong. So David actually got me to read the entire bill, which was actually an interesting read, but it does a lot of good. I do see that it will make some extra restrictions people might be upset about, but it also makes it. When we get to that part,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So the part that got me,
Well,
David.
Let's go through the list so it's easier to follow. And
Okay,
then
but-
we can talk. But one is reducing the frequency of required campaign finance reports.
See now this one, I don't agree with.
I agree. All right,
I
we're in
mean,
agreement with that.
So I get why they want to do it, but I want them to report more. I'm sorry, I'm not the treasurer, and I'm sorry the treasurers, but I hate the way you can get all the way to election and be spending money that's not being reported, and
Right.
then all of a sudden it's like, I mean, Stockton Reeves all over again when he was running against Michaela Nix. I mean, he spent so much money. We knew he spent it because we had all the mailers and everything, but then you get to the point where he didn't have to tell anybody till the final report.
Right.
So no, I don't agree with this one.
Right. And I agree with you as a political, as someone who has been hired to be a treasurer for multiple campaigns. I understand how the reports are manipulated in a way that allows people or not allow other campaigns to disclose the money that are coming into the campaign. I use it as a little secret sauce. I use it as a means of strategizing what my opponent is doing and spending their money on
And they know
in their
that.
campaign, and they know that.
And then they don't want you to know that. So
Exactly.
it's just,
And for the everyday man and woman, they don't understand, they don't understand how campaign finance reports are important. They know it's a requirement, but the information gleaned from these reports are very valuable.
so
They follow the money.
so David takes a 25% of his entire campaign and he puts it in advertising. Right now, that's an easy way to kind of, it's in advertising. You don't know what kind of advertising,
Right.
but you see who they paid it to. Then you can follow what's going on. Okay, oh my God, they're going to buy television for a county race. What is that about?
Right.
Now you say there must be extra money coming. There must be extra money that they can spend this on there. So you then go search for the extra money
Correct.
because there's a PAC out there or there's a PC. Something is helping them because there's no way you would put 25% of your entire fundraising into that. So this is exactly what David has on Mondays. He's going to be talking about stuff like this, this tabletop issue, just quick, easy to digest suggestions. But yeah, those reports are important. So that one,
Very important.
unfortunately, I can't disagree. I mean, I know why, but
Right. So
I'm with you.
Joel and I are in agreement that we don't like this particular stipulation of this.
No, I
of
would,
this bill.
if I was in there, I would make an amendment
Right.
to it.
Next, criminalizing harassment of election workers. I agree with that.
I don't agree. I mean,
Really?
come on, that little old lady. She
You're
needs to be
gonna
ribbed.
terrorize
She
the
needs to
little
be.
old
She needs to
lady.
be ribbed. She needs to be ribbed a bit. David's over here going, "Oh, I can't believe Joe. Like he's on record saying this." No, I am in a total agreement. They are the nicest volunteer. They
Yes.
try so hard,
Mhm.
and you want to be belligerent. You want to be, well, who are you to check my signature?
Right,
Who are you
right.
to that? Come on, they're just doing their job,
Exactly.
and they're not like trying to be the cop that pulls you over and
Right.
just to pull you over to show the power. They don't want the power. They just want to. They are doing their civic duty, and they're getting paid nickels and dimes.
Right.
You get paid for this. Yeah, I'll give $7, right?
And elections have become so contentious, and our election workers of late have been harassed, not just here in Florida, but across the country. And show some grace, people. They're doing their civic duty on top of voting. to make sure that our elections are safe, that our elections are transparent, and that there's a sense of integrity to
And-
them. God bless them.
And the
I
thing
remember being a poll worker.
yeah, I've done it. Listen, I've done it. I did it in Broward County.
Mhm.
I felt it was important. Get a Republican out there. I
Right.
know the Democrats going to win, but let's make sure everything is fair, safe. So yeah, I've done it,
Right.
and it's not for the money. It's simply because you have a civic duty. You want to do this. Plus, you
Correct.
don't want to go on jury duty. So. No, so yeah, no.
Is that the secret to avoiding jury duty?
No, I wish Grandma Loy is the only one who keeps tagging me all the time. Like I've been like in Orange County. You guys didn't touch me, right? When I was in Orange
But
County,
now-
no. There's plenty of people, I guess.
Maybe
The
they're
minute I
sharing-
moved
sharing notes.
into Seminole County, the first time I got hit.
Wow.
The second time I got hit. I'm like,
Wow.
is this like none of my family except for me? I said, it must be Grant knows me. So
Next, requiring first-time voters cast their ballots in person.
oh, see, this is so everybody. This is why I read. This is why I ended up reading the bill. Like,
Right.
I'm like, David wrote this wrong. David had to have written this wrong. I laugh, but it's like there's two sides to this. I can take
Yes.
like I as a citizen, I go, I don't want anybody to tell me what to do.
Right. I agree.
I mean, I've been voting since I was 18 years old. I mean, why? I don't get it.
Right.
But then again, there's that moment
Mhm.
that I did vote in person.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I did because my very first vote would have ended up being an absentee ballot over in Germany.
Right.
But I had that experience. So I think this right here is aimed at that power of that vote. You get the person out there so that they can be part of the civic duty, and then you can do all the mail-in
Right.
ballots you want to.
I was looking at Reddit, my Reddit feed, and someone had just gained their citizenship, and they were so proud of holding up their passport. And I am sure that when they vote for the first time, they're going to be just as ecstatic
They didn't want to do it in person.
and do it in person. And I feel the same way. I'm on the fence on this one. I kind of lean to, giving the
I'm giving it a thumbs
voter their choice to go in person. However, for first time voters, especially the young folks,
Mhm.
get them engaged. Fill the paper. Go, behind the curtain and cast your ballot. Go through the process. I think it's a great exercise in
So you've
civic
been registered.
duty and democracy.
So you've been registered in the state. So you've been registered in the state for 4 years.
7.
I'm saying you've been.
But okay, yes.
So
Yes.
you're here. You've been here for 4 years, and you say, "Well, I'm going to go over. I'm going to put in my paperwork to get my ballot." And they tell you, it doesn't matter. You lived here for 4 years. This is your first time voting in Florida. You have to come to the polls.
And you know something?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I maybe this one. I have two feelings. I like it.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I hate it because it's something that's somebody telling you what to do.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
I'm with you on that. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Next. Oh boy. Okay. Increased fines for election law violations. And,
Okay. So
and there's a myriad of different possible violations, from campaign finance reporting to third-party registrants or registrars filing voter registration forms late. Instead of 14 days, they have 10 days now. It just, and the fines go up dramatically.
So this is a tough one.
This will hurt grassroots organizations that are
See-
out there registering. They just have to be more cautious.
This is where I'm going to
about
be.
what they do.
This is where this is where you're going to find my liberals thing. There's like
Oh.
little bit of my little bit of liberal out there. Because
Liberal alert! Liberal
it-
alert!
it's
We
'cause
need a siren
it-
on our
so-
soundboard.
anytime you increase fines,
Mhm.
as long as you're increasing fines for people that can afford them, then I'm okay. But if you're doing it where it's detrimental to somebody that doesn't have the means, the people get hurt on these are the ones that have established over and over again kind of organizations, and somebody comes in their organization, makes a mistake.
Right.
The mistake is a law, a legal issue. You can't avoid that legal issue. You can self-report, but you're still going to get fined.
Right.
So you self-report, and now your fines are up. I don't know. That's just, for me, it's not hurting the candidate because the candidate doesn't get fined until the election's over.
That's
I mean,
true.
most of these things don't ever they get in the newspaper, but they never get talked about.
And we're seeing it now where candidates and treasurers are going back and reconciling reports. The DeSantis administration has been very clear and being very stringent in regards to, reporting that campaigns are zeroed out. They're taking a very strict approach
but that's because
now before this bill comes out.
Yeah, but that's because also you've had people that live off. I was a politician for so many years, and then you raise so much money, and then you kind of put it in a PC, and then you travel around the state. You do hotels and all this stuff.
Secret sauce.
That stuff was starting to happen where
Mhm.
Mark Foley. Anybody know Mark Foley?
Representative Foley.
Yeah, he still has an account. So I know I'm not going to be I'm not the one who wants to put him on my report. I don't want to say that Mark Foley gave me a donation.
Right.
Hey, you better give that donation to a PAC or something. There's certain people I'm not taking money from.
So it's more accountability for the professionals in the field, like us, like the treasurers for campaigns and things like that, and for those third-party registrars who collect voter registration forms. I think we talked about this before. I don't want my voter registration information out there hanging out in someone's house or office and not submitted to the Division of Elections. I want it submitted in a timely fashion. Don't hold on to it. And I like the fact that they will get a receipt now for.
Do we just go on to the next one?
No, it's the same one.
This is the same one.
This is the same one. Yeah.
You didn't mention the fact that the registration card had changed yet.
It hasn't changed yet.
No,
However,
but I'm saying it would change in this bill.
It would change where you'll get a receipt.
You'd have a receipt.
I like that.
Yes.
I think that's smart.
Yeah,
that's very smart.
I thought we're still on the fines because with the fines, I'm going to say too many times I've heard it's only $5,000. Let's do it.
Right.
And I'm like, you can do it on your own. You're not doing it with me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fines going up. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I happy about it? No.
And this does go into the next topic about increased burdens on third-party voter registration organizations. I think the receipts are a great idea.
Yeah.
The fines are going up if they turn in, voter registration forms late.
It's not a burden. Come on. These people do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you want to, you should be prompt. If I have a business, my responsibility is to my client. Your client is the person that you asked to register.
Mm-hmm.
And that client should be guaranteed that it goes through supervisor elections and everything. So I've talked to you about my daughter being an MPA.
Mm-hmm.
So we were sitting in the living room.
Non-party affiliate.
No party affiliation. And we were talking about something, and it came up, voter registration. And I took my daughter, as I looked over at my daughter and said, you don't have to worry about it because you're not a Republican. She says, yes, I am. I've always been a Republican. I said, you might want to look at your voter registration because you're an MPA. You have no party affiliation. She went, oh, that's good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but no, you don't get to vote in the primary. I said, why do you think that you don't get like the same information that your mom gets or I get,
Right.
So did she do it without knowing it? Because she still believes she was a Republican. The receipt, I'm 100%. Look, somewhere along the line, my daughter did something to her voter registration that changed it.
Right.
And just because she doesn't like Donald Trump didn't mean she wanted to be out of the party.
Hmm. Right. And things like that. When someone does register, that they know that they registered for NPA, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever, that they did do it. And that receipt will help in making sure that they have evidence of registering the way that they wanted to register for. And it does reduce fraud also.
I don't see any. I like it. I like it. I say, I give it 2 thumbs up as long as, but I don't consider it an additional burden. I think it's
Common
I
sense.
think it's common sense. So I'm just like,
I remember during the pandemic, I signed a petition electronically when it was allowable. And then I got a text message of the information that I signed for that particular petition. I thought it was brilliant. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we do have the technology, we do have the means to do this. We should use it. Going back to what I said earlier, show ballots on the blockchain. But that's a different story. Elect me,
Oh.
supervisor of elections.
there you go. Hey, that's a great idea.
Next,
So the next one is
changes to how the supervisor of elections make notifications, give notices of public notices.
I
Instead of the newspaper, they can do it on their website.
I like it.
Common sense.
I like it because David, you've heard me. I think you've heard me say this. Like, I would love the newspapers to go out of business totally.
Oh,
If
but
because they've only ever been trying to survive
right,
off of public notifications.
right,
It costs almost $100 a day to put in a notice that you have to have in for 7 days if a relative dies. That's one newspaper. So you see these little tiny mom and pop newspapers that are barely struggling. If it's in that circulation of your county, you go to that because it might cost you 10.
I've had to do that for a candidate before. Yes,
It's like, okay, so Joel, you want your company, it's called Bata 21,
Mhm.
but you want it, everybody talks about it as they say, bringing America together again.
Mhm.
So you need to do the work to get that to be the name, the fictitious name. So, okay, so how do you do that? You got to reach out. You got to go to a newspaper. You have to have it in the newspaper. It has to be run.
Right,
That
right.
Data 21 is known as Bring America Together again. Got to do it. And
Right.
it's like, so doesn't matter what newspaper, got to go find the cheapest one. But no, you're automatically going to reach out to the Sentinel. You reach out to them. They're charging you an arm and a leg. No, I am so sick of that.
Right.
Like, let the advertisers pay for your newspaper, not the citizens and the government.
Yeah.
Longwood should be able to put it on their website and be done with it.
Exactly. And the last one, major change here, signature verification of vote by mail ballots. I think we have that already.
We do, but I think they're just kind of putting you know how it works. So when your vote comes in, it gets put aside. Then they verify the actual signature on it. If they can't verify the signature, then they're supposed to notify you.
Right.
I didn't see much different. To this one, I'm just like, I don't see it unless they're putting in new software or something. But I read the thing, and it didn't seem like this was any different than what we have.
I agree. Maybe more consistency across the state, how signatures are verified.
Oh yeah,
Perhaps.
probably bring
So more.
Yeah, we'll probably bring in 67 FBI agents and make the county pay for the FBI agent to make sure that the FBI agent is a forensic.
Jesus.
Come on, guys. Yeah, that's my signature. No, that's not your signature.
Right. Right.
I know it can't be your signature. You've been dead for 10 years.
So for us in this business, what it means, um, more accountability, more professionalism. That's what I took from this.
Okay.
More professionalism, and more need for those professional services by clients in the future.
Well, I think it's really where the Republicans really after the Donald Trump election, they're crazy on these SOEs, like over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to go in and they're trying to watch these the signatures portion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell do you know about a signature? Now, if the signature is exactly the same, guess what? There might be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, exactly the same, there might be a problem. If it's different, where does that difference? Where does that difference? Is it a wiggle of hand?
Right.
It's so hard. It's so hard. This is, you can tell. Like my chicken scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember how I signed my. I probably signed it as best I could,
Right.
because I do know they verify. Anything else, as long as I know it's me.
Right. I believe that most people will find this particular bill something that they can embrace. The accountability, election integrity, and transparency.
So how does it get on the? How does it get on? You can't make this shit up. Other than the fact that you had Joel so confused that he had to go read the bill.
So Joel can go read the bill. And this is one of the staples of what we do, and what we try to educate the public in our different projects and businesses.
Mhm.
So this is important that people understand that this is serious, and that their government is taking this serious. We're taking this serious, and they should take this serious.
I totally agree. And I appreciate topics like this, because
Mhm.
you and I may disagree on something, but we can both understand where the writing is on the wall. So,
Mhm. And we
again,
should be highlighting more of this type of legislation where people can
David,
rally around.
You had me at 70-50. So then, Joel went down the rabbit hole before bed last night.
Mhm.
And Escamani has more bills actually passed than
Yeah.
a lot of other people. She
Good
has
for her. Good for her.
and she got
Good for
Women's History Month. She's
Yeah.
got all those great
Yay.
things out there. So
Good for her.
she's got Iran Recognition Day or
Yeah.
something like that. So gotta love it. So, hey, we have a new senator running.
Who's that?
The guy who lost to Renee Placencia's.
Nah,
Sister.
No more.
I'm just
No
saying.
more.
I'm
we
just
do,
saying.
but
Yeah. Hey, and
Yay.
don't forget, David. We have some travel advisories. I got to mention it again.
Oh, jeez.
The LGBTQ
Yeah,
community.
we were doing so good. We were doing so good. Did we have to rehash this?
No, I just
Nah.
had. I
No.
love having
No, we
fun with
don't.
this. No,
Yeah.
you're right. So you can't make this shit up, David.
Speaking of voter election integrity, transparency, political salsa,
Yes.
that is emblematic of what we'll like to educate the community about the responsibilities, the
Mhm.
civic responsibility and civic engagement, and bring these particular issues to the forefront. Because in political salsa, we have the candidates, we have the politicals,
And our
we have the
guest
straw polls,
and our guest alone. Our guest alone is a testament that this is a known entity that
Mhm.
even he is already excited that it's going to be annual. He made mention that
It's
his
beautiful.
family will be there. So
It's beautiful.
if you've ever been, you've got to go again.
Mhm.
If you have never been, you absolutely have to go. It is going to be
Political salsa
Big.
every year annually, and we'd really like to have you be a part of that. make sure that you like what you hear, what you see, share it with as many people as possible. We're growing our community and we want you and everyone else to be a part of it, part of the discourse, part of the conversation. And please hit the notification bell so that you know when our content is out there. Take care.